Thank you everyone for coming. If you did not see that we are going over funnels and creating high converting sales funnel formulas. And so what that means, we'll just give you a step-by-step process on how to create funnels, what they are, and how to make an actually good funnel. So first off, what a funnel is a visual representation of the customer's journey within your website. And the actual funnel is composed of multiple web pages, basically trying to gain the awareness and the interest of the client, make them desire or take action on your services, and basically convert them into loyal customers in the long run. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our sub account in our OverPower Marketing, click on the Sites tab, and go to New Funnels. You gotta create a new name. So let us use dummy funnel awareness to purchase. Now, before we get further into it, what makes a good funnel? Well, it requires a landing page that really catches the eye or has a call to action, gives enough information to the user so that they know what your services are, what you provide, as well as a nice transition throughout your web page so that they can become a loyal client. So let's start by adding a new step. Let's call this the landing page. And let us create from blank. And you might be overwhelmed with all the options that are currently provided to you, but it is very simple and easy to use. Very beginner friendly for anyone who is using our program for the very first time. So first things first, we're going to be presented with an add a section tab over here. What we want to do is start with a full width section. This means that it will cover up the full section of the page. Next, we want to add a row. And what we want for our first row is we want our header. And our header for our website wants to include the logo or the company name, as well as tabs for services, testimonials, make an appointment, things that you normally see on a business website. So for that, let us do a 6-column row, add an element, and let's try to add our logo real quick. So we want to search up the image element. Here is a blank image. In order to add our image, we want to scroll down to image options and paste the link to our image that we want to use. So I'm going to look up on another tab, OverPower Marketing logo. Go to Google Images and right click, copy image address, and paste. And here we have our logo on our header. Next, we want to add testimonials, services, and a call to action to make an appointment. So let us add a button so that our user can see our services. And we'll call it services. Now, I'm not really a big fan of the color of this, so let's scroll on up, choose the background color, and let's make it transparent. We obviously need to change the text color as well. So let's scroll down to color options, choose black for this instance. And we also have the option of animations as well. Basically, this is what will play out whenever you first enter the web page. So here we have the fade in entrance, and we have multiple options that we can choose from. I'm a big fan of the down entrance animation. And let's just do that for all of our buttons that we're about to make. So we're going to make one for testimonials. I heard someone have a question.
Yeah. Do you have any pre-made templates?
We do. We are currently going over the made from scratch, but we can
Nice.
also show the case that after
Okay.
this. Yep.
Nice.
Next, testimonials, and do the same thing that we did previously. Transparent text, black text, fade down. And next we want to make our book an appointment. So for that, change the name of the text to book an appointment. Resize the button. Right. And next we want to scroll down, choose button actions, and link to the next step. This will be important for later. And let's change the animation as well. And there we are done with our first section. We're done with our header. Now let's move on. And Mustafa, would you like to continue on with the rest of the elements that we can use to make a good funnel?
So, meanwhile, I'm doing that. For the audience, I have a question, very simple question. Do you know what's the difference between a good funnel and a bad funnel? What about you, Forte? Do you know what a good funnel is, what a bad funnel is? No?
No, and
All right. What
yeah.
is the basic purpose of using a funnel? What exactly is a funnel? Do you have any understanding of that?
Tracking where I'm at, tracking progress and sales.
Yes and no. All right. So what a funnel is, it's a series of landing pages which we can consider as in steps. So step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, like a staircase. Step number 1 is in which most of your audience will come to. Now the audience might be coming from, let's say you have social media, people watched a post on social media, they click on the link and they landed on a funnel page or a landing page. Maybe they saw an ad of yours, they click on the ad and they went to your funnel page or your landing page. Maybe you send them an email and within your email was a link, maybe for all the openings you have in the company or the services that you're providing. They clicked on the link and they went to your landing page. So the first landing page within the funnel that they land on is called top of the funnel or the first landing page or the first step. This step is where the most of your audience will land. All right, so let's say, just to have a numerical understanding, 100 people land on the first page. And by the end of the funnel, we want at least, let's say, 10% or 15% people to complete all the steps. So for example, if you're trying to make a sale, or maybe you're trying to have people book an appointment with you, maybe you want them to fill out a form or something like that, whatever your particular action is that you desire from your audience, that the purpose of the funnel is to increase the final step so that the maximum number of people complete all of the steps. All right. So a good funnel is which delivers you around 10% to 15% results. A bad funnel would be something that gives you 2% to 5%. And an amazing funnel would be somewhere in the 15 to 20% ratio. So let me just give you, before I jump into what exactly a funnel or how exactly we are supposed to make a funnel, let me just give you a visual example of what a good funnel is and what a bad funnel is. Okay. So over here, we have this funnel, which is considered a bad funnel. Why is it considered a bad funnel? Is number one, even though the colors and the text and everything is really visible, that's good, but the page itself looks a little bit white. It looks like empty. So one of the things that we require in a top performing or a high performing funnel is that you need to have a harmonious colors so that everything looks connected, even though there should be white space, but it shouldn't be so much that it looks empty. All right, so that's one of the differences. The second difference is that in this funnel that the person is, let me just make sure first, this is visible, right? Forte, can you see the elements within the page? Perfect. So within this page, we have the person who has written his company name. He has given the person contact us button. And then here comes the bad part. He has listed out his services, which is in a block format. And then directly after that is our product. So he's mentioned in our services, he mentioned his product, and then he has a form to contact us. Now, it's considered bad because he's not utilizing the full potential of what a funnel can be. In comparison to you, if I was to compare this one, which is considered a good funnel, is if you can see in the background how it's using different shapes and different colors in order to promote a harmonious feeling so that everything looks connected and everything looks harmonious. All right. And then he has added these small images into the left column over here, in the right column over here, just to have some sort of different colors. Then when he introduced his services, it's not in like a table format in which there are rows and columns. He has added this little space just to have some sort of a unique factor. After he mentioned in his services, he mentions his project's gallery just to show off what his past experiences has been about. Then he has added his what the clients say about him, the testimonials. You can add reviews, and then he has added his form, which looks better because he's asking if anyone has any questions. He has mentioned a form. He has also given his contact information, which is the email address, the phone number, and even the physical address. So that is considered a good landing page or a good funnel, the top of the funnel or the bottom of the funnel, but this is a good landing page. Now, moving back to creating your own landing page, let me just open that landing page, which Cohen was working on. All right. So when we first start to create a landing page, or we first start to create a funnel, what we need to understand is what the steps will be. The first step is where the majority of the audience will land, or all of your audience will land. So 100 people are landed in the first step. This could be an information page. It could be a one-page funnel. So it all depends upon what your business is and what you're trying to do or what you're trying to achieve. The rule of the thumb, or what most people do, is the first page is an informational page. The second page is where they want to collect the information. So it could be a form or a survey. And the third page is either a checkout page or a calendar page, something like that. So if it's a calendar page, someone will book an appointment. If it's a checkout page, someone will be making a purchase. So whatever your CTA is, or a click-through action, or whatever the need or the desire is for you, that would probably be, usually be, on the third step. So moving to the first step, and over here, we're just going to show you how to create the first step of the landing page, be it checkout page or a calendar page, but whatever it is. So you click on edit. Did I not click that? Oh, no, I did. Sorry for that. All right, perfect. So this is the landing page we have right now that Cohen was working on. We have your branding, which includes your logo. One of the things that you might add is, let's see, a single column. Then you're going to add an element, which is going to contain a headline. This could be your motto, whatever your company's motto is. So I'll say company motto. Then you might add another thing, which is the subheadline. This could be a little description, or something like we do work better, even though this sounds childish, but I'm just trying to convey a point that this would be something to explain what your motto is about. Then what you need is, we click on the plus button to add more elements. And before we start to build a funnel, let's look at what the elements we have. So we have the basic ones, which is the headline, the subheadline, paragraph, and the bullet list. To manage all of our text-based content. Then we have the buttons. So when it comes to the buttons, which already Cohen has used over here, but I'm still going to explain. One thing you need to make sure is that you're using your brand colors. So for OverPower Marketing, it's blue and a little shade of a green. We go into the background color and we choose the color which is harmonious to us and is relevant to the company. So in this case, I'm going to select this one. But if you have your exact color code, you might just need to add that. So click over here, add the code over here, and just add the color. You can rename that color, let's say over or OPM, which is OverPower Marketing, brand color 1. You can do something like that, just so that you have all of your colors already present within the system. Then you need to play around with the font size, the font weight, or the font weight. You can play with the headlines if you have a custom or a specific headlines or specific typography that you use within your brand. You can select that one and just play around with the padding so you understand what the padding is. If I increase this padding, let's by 40, it increases the amount of blue over here. If I decrease it to 10, it will remove that extra portion. So you have the buttons over here. You can add a form within the funnel. You can have blog posts if you already have a blog running, which is a good indicator to show that your business is not something new. It's not a startup. It has some sort of history. That's why you have a lot of blogs on your website, and that's why you're showing the blogs over here. Then you can have the not by default, but the basic images, videos, the image slider. But one of the amazing things that you should always have on, especially on the first page of your funnels, are the FAQs. So let me just grab it over here. Within the FAQs, you can select what type of, what should the FAQ look like. You can have the simple one, you can have separated, you can have contained. My personal preference is for the separated one so that each question looks something different. And the questions over here, you can find that out from Google Analytics, or you can find out from your clients what their usual questions are about. So over here, what we're trying to achieve is we're trying to give them the information, which is not too much, but not too less, something in the middle. Then we have other options over here. We can add surveys over here within it. We can add a calendar. We can add a map if you have a physical existence or a physical shop. So for some companies that might work amazingly well, just to increase your, what should I say, your authenticity of where you're located. You can open the search box. You can just type out your address. So where is it? Over here, you can type out your address, and then it will start showing. Yeah, sorry. And then it will start showing the map. You can resize the map. You can zoom in. You can zoom out. So if I'm going to increase the zoom, this is what happens. If I zoom out, this is what happens. But a general, yeah, this would be a better one. Or let's say I'm going to do it 10. Yeah. So this would give the audience a good idea of where this particular business is located. But this map is very big. I would consider it to have 250 by, let's say 250. Keep it a nice even square, or maybe even smaller than that, which would be 200 by, let's say 400, just to have it in a rectangular view. No, wrong, sorry, 400 by 200. Yep, that looks better. We can save it every time whenever you add an element or you delete an element or you edit an element. My recommendation would be to save it. And when it's saved, click on this I button over here so you can have a look of what it will look like on the audience side. So this is what you have created so far. We have a button, we have a company motto, even though this needs to be edited so that it looks proper. You have your FAQs, what they will look like, and then you have your map. Coming back to the builder, share this tab. The other elements, that's what we are focusing on right now. You can add your Google reviews or the reviews within your account if you already have added. So let's see. Yep, here we have the customer testimonials. Perfect. We save this again, just to see what it will look like on the other end. Share this tab. And if we had this widget completed, it would show the customer testimonials that we have for this particular business. Moving back, share this tab, open up the elements. We have the timers. All right, so when it comes to the timers, why should you have a timer is whenever you're trying to run an offer, you want to induce a factor which is called FOMO, which you may have probably heard about, fear of missing out. So you need to induce that fear that someone will miss out on this offer and they we want them to be scared about it. So we want them to make a purchase, or we want them to click through to it. So you can add a countdown, you can add your own timers. So if, for example, if I add a countdown over here on the bottom, let me do that. I can have it. Yeah, this is the screen I'm sharing. I can select an end in date, an end in time, the translation. I can choose any language I want within the options. I can play with the font size. So for example, if I increase this to 61, it will increase. And yep, if instead of using a countdown, I can have a minute timer. No, here. Or I can even add a day timer. So we have the minute timer, we have a day timer, and we have the countdown in which we can select how, after how many days, after how many after how many hours, how many minutes, or how many seconds will this offer expire. Now, as I say that, I would like to remind you that once, if any customer refreshes the screen, the countdown usually refreshes again. So this is not exactly something that we shouldn't do, but it's just a tactic to induce the FOMO, and which is considered a nice tactic to be used. And people have seen a huge amount of conversion rate when they have used a countdown. All right, moving on to the other elements, we have the dividers. All right, so what divider does is it makes two different sections look separate. So if we have like, for example, if I want to add a divider over here, and then I want to add, I don't want to add a divider here. So if I save this, just to understand what it would look like, please save. Perfect. Now I'm going to refresh the screen and share this tab to give you the preview. I did not add that. Refresh again. No, it did not add that. It should have. Anyways, so as you can see, we have the timer over here, and then we have a divider, which for the audience, it looks that this section has been ended, and now another section is supposed to be started. So that's why we add a divider. And add-in divider is almost the same whenever, it's almost exactly the same as when you're writing out something, and within the same paragraph, you select, all right, and you select, let's say, a word within a text field, and you bold it. So, you know, when a character within a paragraph has been bolded out, it increases the emphasis on that particular word. So what people do is you can have this for free, and free would be bolded out, free would be capitalized, and that way people will have a more emphasis on that word. That's the same purpose of a divider. It divides the attention so that people will understand, okay, this has been completed, something new is coming out. So a good rule of the thumb is you should have a divider after each specific element. Moving on to other elements, we have the progress bar, you have the image feature. What that is, let me just show you. So you have an image, and then you have a feature headline. So this can be used for your services. It could be used for your customer reviews, your testimonials. You can use it for your past work. This is a good way to highlight your expertise, your position in the market, what your clients say about you, and so on and so forth. Moving on to other elements, I'm on the final view. Yeah. Now this is one of the most important, and even though it's not that people don't think that this is relevant, for me, in my personal understanding, this is one of the most important elements that you should always have on your landing pages, whichever landing page it is your social icons, so that people know that you are a prominent industry leader, that you are present on different social platforms, and you can add as many as you want or as many as you have. So over here, if you click on add social, it will give you which social media you want to add. You can have Google Plus, WhatsApp number, your mailing address, your website, your Pinterest, and so on and so, not so on and so forth, but these are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You can have 11. So I would always suggest to have as many as possible, so that people will know that you have a lot of social media existence. Consider this as a digital footprint. People will generally trust someone who have a wide range of digital footprint. So they will see like, okay, OverPower Marketing have their LinkedIn page, they have their Instagram page, they have their own YouTube channel, they have a TikTok account, they have a mailing ID, they have their own website. It increases the level of trust. And whenever you're trying to get some information out of the audience, or you're trying to have them make a purchase, they will always do that particular action based on how much they trust you. Made sense? Good. So moving on, then you have the two-step order, the order confirmation, which is something that's more on the payment side of the view, but that's not something I want to go on over right now. But this was just to show you what different elements we have within this particular funnel builder. Let me just delete these. Perfect. When we are starting to make a funnel, we need to understand two things first. I'm going to delete this over here as well, just so I can start from scratch. The first row, I'm just going to add a simple row. I'm going to just add a text box, just because I'm trying to teach you what we need. The first section is supposed to be the header section. All right. What does the header section should contain? The first thing it needs to contain is your logo. It needs to contain a contact us button, which would lead to either a mailing address, or maybe your contact us page, or maybe to your main website. Then you need something of a sectional navigational menu. So for example, if you have 3 or 4 or 5 sections within the funnel, the first section, let's say, is your services, and the second section is your projects, the third section is your testimonials. You need to add those sections as buttons over here. So navigational buttons. For example, it could be services, it could be testimonials, it could be contact us, etc., etc. Now, what are these navigational buttons? These navigational buttons are in the header, so that when you click on them, the screen will be automatically scrolled down towards it. Okay? Instead of opening a new page, it will just scroll down to that particular element. These are the 3 main things that you always need in a header: the logo, and then you can have your motto or your emblems and your statements within the header as well, but that is not something that I would recommend. I would have that in the body, in the main one. So this is the header. Now let's build out the header. We need a full width. We're going to add at least 5 rows. The first row would contain your logo. So I'm going to click over here to add an image. Then the last one would contain a button, because we always want the button to be on the last one. You can play around with this as much as you want, but I'm just going to explain you the best rule of thumb. And these 4 will also be buttons, but it will not show up as buttons. So we have this button, we have this button, and then we have this button. This button, the last button, would be something according to contact us, or you could say something like reach out to us. All right. You save. Why didn't you save? All right, that's the element name. Where's the text? Where's the text? Where's the text? Oh, here it is. Reach out to us. Now you can add a subtext. Let's say we are waiting for you, something like that. And instead of opening a pop-up, what it would do is it will scroll down to the element, and then we will add another element over here, which would be the last one. So when we do that, I'll be able to show you. Now, moving on to this one, this would be, we will first remove the background color, it would be transparent. The font color will be black, and the subtext color would be black as well. I'm just going to show you this button, not these ones, because you already understand what this is. This one could be services. Services. Perfect. And what it will do is it will also scroll down to element. Now let's add the other elements. Add another element. First, we're going to add a section. All right, perfect. Now this section, we add, let's say, one column. And within this column, we are going to add, what else? An image slider would be good. This image slider could represent your services. So moving back up, we click over here. We go scroll down, we select image slider. All right, save. And then we open it, share this tab. All right, so this is just to make you understand what it is. I'm going to pretend as if the website or the landing page is starting from here. You have the services button. What usually happens on a website is when you click over here, it will open up a new page or it will take you to a new page. But within this funnel, what will happen is it will take you down to where this is. So that is how we use buttons on a landing page or in a funnel. Because with the major focus of every funnel, and I will emphasize this as heavily as I can, the major focus of every funnel is to keep your audience within the funnel. We do not want them to leave the funnel. The only two options we are going to give the audience is either A, leave the funnel, or B, complete the funnel. In a website, there are multiple options. They can go to any number of pages they want. But this funnel or a landing page, we have only two options, or we will only give two options. Either do what we want you to do or leave. And why do we have only two options? So that based on the data, we can make appropriate changes so that our conversion rate goes higher. Made sense? All right, good. So moving back over here, you have your header, then you have your body, and finally you'll have your footer. So we're going to add another section, full width, add a row, add a column. And now we're going to add elements over here. I'm just going to add headline. This is your footer. Now we're going to add the footer of what it will look like. The first part of the footer is supposed to contain not exactly a headline, Mustafa. It needs to be a sub-headline. So something according to the line of contact us. And then you have, let's say, a form. You can select a form, let's say domain nouns form. And then you can resize that in a way so that it's visible and it's proper. And you will have your contact information. Even though that this is not a perfect or even close to good funnel, but it's just so that we're trying to show you what options we have. Now, let's move on to the main question that was asked to us. Within this software, do we have to create all our funnels by ourselves, or can we use the template library? And on this part, share this tab. On this part, this is what Forte asked us, and this is the direct answer to Forte's question. Where can we find, where can we find the templates? So when you're on the OverPower Marketing app or the software, you click on sites, you go to funnels, and you click on create a new funnel. And then you have two options. Either you can create a funnel. If you consider yourself an expert builder, you can create your own funnel, or you can start with a template. Starting from a template is usually considered a good step so that you can utilize what people have created, and you can check if those will be working out for you. So over here, you can filter based on the categories. So what filters do we have? The filters we have are automotive, beauty and fashion, creative, financial, home services. Then we have other types, which are the about and bio, checkouts, events, lead capture, marketing, newsletter and sign up, and so on and so forth. Then let's say you found a funnel that you think is really good. For me, it is this one. I will click on the I button and it will open up. So yeah, here we have it, a good straightforward funnel. If I think that this is good and this is relevant to my company's agenda, I will just click on continue. It will set up the template and it will open the edit option. Please load faster. All right, perfect. So if I just open this directly just to see what this is going to look like, this is what it looks like. You will have your logo on the top, then you have your header and your subheadline over here. Then you have video content, whatever it may be. You have your button, you have your payment options mentioned over here. None of these are clickable. It's an image just to show you that you can pay via PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, and so on and so forth. And then you have your footer. It's a very straightforward, simple landing page. But apart from that, you can check out the other templates within the library and see which one is the best one for you. And over here, you have the first page, you have the first step for the lead generation. Let it open. All right, so let's just share this tab. All right, so if you had watched the video and you had clicked on the button, it would take you to this page. You enter your name, your email, and then it will take you to the third page and fourth page and move on and so forth. So again, you have the option of either creating your own funnel, and by funnel, it would mean a series of landing pages, or you can just choose a funnel template and start working off that. Are there any questions regarding the elements, regarding the funnels? No? Was this workshop educational? Did you learn something new?
Yes. I just got back into the system. Now I'm seeing everything there. On our meeting yesterday, we had talked about making another account for Colorado Springs and Pueblo. Should I wait on doing anything with these two until that's made, or am I good to start using the software again?
For that particular thing, I would say it would be better to reach out to Oren at his direct email, which is oren@overpowermarketing.com, since he is the one that's looking into it, and he would be able to provide you a better answer.
Perfect.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you for being on this call. I'll see you all next week. Bye.